It's easy to make on our side, you know what I mean? I've been ready, I've been, I'll just hear excuses and and this and that, Buzz, reach out. How bad do you want to fight? How bad do you want to be undisputed cruiserweight? That's an easy fight to make. Yeah. There's all these little excuses and stuff, but it is what it is.
And I like the fight with Jai. I think the Jai Opetaia fight at cruiserweight is the fight for me. That's the fight that I want to see. Jai has been the man at that weight class for a very long time. Now you got a new player in the division with a hot name and whose stock and whose star power is only rising. That's the fight I believe that needs to be made at the cruiserweight division. We'd love to see Bivol, but for some reason the light heavyweight division just is not as appealing to me right now.
Don't play with nobody else, all right? Anything else can taint the Usyk fight. The Usyk fight is one of the biggest fights of this decade right now. Take it while it's hot. Don't play with him, and don't let him play with you. And that's my words to Dave Benavidez, because I know he listens to me, he looks up to me, thinks a lot of me. I'ma tell him it's okay to say no, Opetaia. You haven't proven yourself right now. I want somebody who's proven like I am. I want Usyk. That's what he should do, without a question.
I don't know. He's never fought no one like me. You know what I mean? He backed this guy that just stood right in front of him. You know what I mean? Well, let's just see what happens, bro. Let's see what happens. Let's sign the contract. Let's go.
A heated disagreement between Roy Jones Jr. and Andre Ward has suddenly put Jai Opetaia right in the middle of the spotlight. Roy raised doubts about whether Jai has truly accomplished enough to be viewed among boxing's elite names, immediately creating friction between the two Hall of Fame voices. Things became even more intense when Jones argued that David Benavidez should forget about facing Opetaia and instead target Xander Usyk, insisting Jai hasn't reached that level yet. Ward wasn't having it, quickly firing back and making it clear he sees Opetaia's value very differently.
It's okay to say no, Opetaia. You haven't proven yourself right now. I want somebody who's proven like I am. I want Usyk. That's what he should do, without a question.
Listen, Opetaia has proven himself, but he's not the name. He's not the name as an Usyk, not as big money.
So who's he beat?
We gonna do that another day. He's been at the weight class, at that cruiserweight weight class. You know, it's not a lot of big names. It's not a lot of big names at that cruiserweight weight class. Am I making that up? Has it historically been big names at the cruiserweight weight class?
No, that's why I skipped it.
Right. So I'm just saying, I can't say that a man that's won a title, defended his title, as long as he had, I can't say that he hasn't proven himself. I'm not gonna say that. But the namesake is different.
As the debate rolled on, Jones made sure to explain that his comments were not aimed at Opetaia's boxing ability. According to Roy, the issue has more to do with exposure and public recognition than talent. He feels Jai still hasn't developed the kind of worldwide profile needed to headline a truly mega event and remains nowhere near as recognizable as stars like Usyk or Benavidez. In his opinion, skill and star power don't always go hand in hand, and Opetaia still has another level to reach when it comes to building his name.
Yeah, so the money is different, right? So I'm with that. I like that decision. I believe that's going to be the decision that's on the table. So it's going to be very, very interesting to see what happens next. But that's a play right there. That is the play right there.
And when I say prove yourself, the world don't know you like that yet. That's what I respect. Prove yourself. I'm not saying he's not good enough. I'm not saying he's not good enough to do it. The world don't know him like that yet. So he hasn't proven himself where the world knows him. The world knows Benavidez. The world knows who Usyk is. A lot of people in boxing, because the cruiserweight division has always been kind of lackluster as far as names go, they don't know who the cruiserweight champions are. Yeah, I only know Opetaia and I knew Ramirez, but I don't know the other cruiserweight champions. And I am in boxing. So if you don't have a name like that, then you're not really proven.
On the other side of the story, Opetaia hasn't stayed quiet while his name is being discussed. The Australian champion responded to the ongoing conversation surrounding David Benavidez by rejecting what he believes are unnecessary hold-ups and excuses. Jai insists there are no issues from his side and says he is fully prepared to make the fight happen. As far as he's concerned, everything is already in place, and all that's left is for the other side to agree.
The fight's easy to make on our side, you know what I mean? I've been ready, I've been, I'll just hear excuses and fucking this and that, Buzz, reach out. How bad do you want to fight? How bad do you want to be undisputed cruiserweight? That's an easy fight to make. There's all these little excuses and stuff, but it is what it is, man. I think he's going to take a different path. And I think he's going to take a smarter path, to be honest.
Do you think he doesn't want the fight?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. Why?
What do you think? Do you think he doesn't want the fight?
From Opetaia's point of view, Benavidez is the one delaying the showdown without any real justification. He believes the reasons keep changing while he continues asking for the fight. For Jai, this isn't only about a major event or a huge paycheck. It's about getting the opportunity to settle the argument inside the ring and proving who truly deserves to carry the title of undisputed champion when everything is on the line.
Why wouldn't he want to become undisputed? You know, he's got both belts, I got 2 belts, like, I got the Ring magazine, like, why wouldn't he take the fight?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't he?
But I guess your opinion, like...
I suppose you know, he's got some big fights to make, and, you know, there's a lot of weight division if he can make it. Like, I see the business side of it. You know what I mean? It makes sense to do whatever he wants to do, so the ball's in his court, you know what I mean? But I'm just saying, you know, I'm not a disrespectful dude, you know, I don't disrespect other fighters, but that's an easy fight to make if he wants it. So.
Yeah.
Growing increasingly frustrated with the situation, Opetaia also made it clear that Benavidez's performance against Zurdo Ramirez failed to impress him. He even suggested that Ramirez's style actually helped Benavidez look stronger than he really is. Jai feels the fight would be completely different against someone with his own speed, movement, and physical strength. He also pointed out that many of Benavidez's opponents have stood directly in front of him, making his pressure style easier to apply, but promised he wouldn't make the same mistake if they ever meet.
Zurdo made him look a lot better than, you know, don't get me wrong, bro, Benavidez is a great fighter. Well, you know, but it is what it is. You know, any of those boys want to have a crack, but I'm ready.
Yeah, the Mexican monster against the Australian monster, that's a crazy fight.
Let's make it happen. I'm ready. I'm waiting for the phone call.
How would you, not to give anything away because the fight could happen sooner than later, but how would you see a fight between you and Benavidez going? Would it be toe-to-toe battle?
I don't know. He's never fought no one like me. You know what I mean? He bashed the shit out of this guy that just stood right in front of him. You know what I mean? Like, well, let's just see what happens, bro. Let's see what happens. Let's sign the contract. Let's go.
Looking at the matchup from another angle, Tim Bradley has added plenty of fuel to the conversation with his own strong opinion. Bradley believes Opetaia has flaws that the right fighter can take advantage of, and he sees Benavidez as the perfect man to expose them. While giving full credit to Jai's footwork, skill, and technical ability, Bradley argues that he can be forced into a hard physical battle. He believes Benavidez's relentless pressure has already created problems for durable opponents like Ramirez and would bring that exact same intensity into a fight with Opetaia.
Yeah, he beat Opetaia. Oh, I'ma double down. He gonna beat Opetaia. I double down on that one. He gonna beat Opetaia. See, Opetaia got good feet. Yeah, he can box, but he can be drugged into a fight. And if you know anything about David Benavidez, just like he did with Ramirez ass, he's the one of those guys that's gonna test your heart. He gonna test what you have in here. And once he go to Jai and he tests what he has in here, Jai gonna lose his.
Bradley also feels the biggest factor won't be natural talent, but what happens once the contest turns into a battle of endurance and determination. In his view, Opetaia has moments where his pace begins to fade during prolonged exchanges, with fatigue becoming more noticeable as the rounds add up. Because of that, he expects Benavidez to keep pushing forward until the momentum swings in his favor. Unsurprisingly, those comments have sparked a huge debate among fans, with many agreeing while others strongly reject Bradley's prediction.
Jai ain't gonna be boxing and moving around. Jai gonna be looking to fight. Jai gonna get tired too. Yeah, because Jai, if you look at the history of Jai Opetaia, he get tired. Yes, he gets tired, period. And I stand on that.
The focus has now shifted toward the future of Benavidez's career, and Gabe Rosado offered a very interesting take on what comes next. If he were making the decisions, Rosado says he would rather stay active at 175 pounds and continue defending that position instead of rushing into the toughest challenge available. He believes Opetaia is built very differently from the average cruiserweight. According to Rosado, Jai carries the strength, size, and overall frame of a natural heavyweight. He even compared him with Zurdo Ramirez, saying that although Ramirez moved up in weight, he still doesn't match Opetaia's physical presence. Rosado recalled meeting Jai in Las Vegas and being amazed by his huge hands, athletic physique, and commanding appearance. In his eyes, Opetaia looks like a heavyweight who just happens to compete in a lighter division, and when that size is combined with skill and power, it creates a serious problem for anyone.
If I'm in Benavidez's position, I would defend the titles at 175. Because Jai is a heavyweight that makes cruiserweight. You know what I mean? Zurdo was a super middleweight that moved up to cruiserweight. You know, Zurdo's really not, he's a big guy, but not a big guy like Opetaia. This guy is different, man. I remember I met him in Vegas. Dude got these big hands. He's just a different dude, man. He literally looks like a heavyweight.
And he's a young dude.
Yeah, and he's very athletic. You know, and he got skills and power.
Rosado then shifted the discussion toward Benavidez's ideal path, suggesting that a fight against Dimitri Bivol would be the biggest challenge available while Bivol is still performing at his highest level. He believes Artur Beterbiev is no longer at the absolute peak of his career, making Bivol the more meaningful test right now. Rosado also brought up Benavidez's long-standing interest in facing Canelo Alvarez, although he admitted he isn't convinced that matchup will ever become reality. In his opinion, if Benavidez can defeat Bivol, it would make such a powerful statement that fans would no longer need to demand a Canelo fight. A victory like that, Rosado believes, would erase any remaining doubts and cement Benavidez's place among boxing's elite.
So I think the fight that is the biggest threat for Benavidez would be that fight. I like the fight with Bivol now while it's still hot, while Bivol's still in his prime, and then Beterbiev.
I like, he's just older. I think right now Bivol would be good, and we know that Benavidez has been calling out Canelo. Who knows if that would ever happen, but if he were to make a statement and beat Bivol, I don't think anybody would kind of be like, hey, we still need that Canelo fight, because it's like, what more do you need to see?
Adding his own perspective, Simon Jordan believes a future battle between Benavidez and Opetaia could become one of the biggest money fights in boxing if it happened under the Zuffa banner. He says the matchup has all the ingredients needed to capture massive attention, although he also feels Opetaia would likely start as the clear betting favorite. Jordan pointed to Jai's own confidence during a recent interview, where he indicated he would accept whatever financial arrangement was necessary to make the bout happen. Jordan also looked at the business side, suggesting that Zuffa would still have strong interest in Benavidez because of the popularity and value attached to his name. At the same time, he argued that Benavidez's impressive win over Zurdo Ramirez has only increased fan demand for a showdown with Opetaia, especially considering how strong Ramirez had looked against other opponents.
Money fight would be Benavidez versus Jai Opetaia for the cruiserweights inside Zuffa. My God, that would sell.
You've got to give him a shot, but Jai Opetaia would start a huge favourite.
Jai Opetaia came on our show and said, take all the money. The interesting thing will be what happens in Zuffa, because there's a part of me that thinks commercially Zuffa would go after David Benavidez. And if David Benavidez beats Zurdo Ramirez, who, by the way, did a number on Chris in the first round against Zurdo Ramirez was really good, but the next 11 rounds got destroyed.
Jordan went on to say that Benavidez versus Opetaia would immediately become one of the biggest fights the cruiserweight division has to offer, particularly if backed by a powerhouse promotion like Zuffa. He highlighted Benavidez's reputation across several weight classes, explaining that his star power alone would generate huge commercial interest. Even with that said, Jordan doesn't hide his opinion about the outcome. He openly admits that he struggles to see Benavidez winning if the fight actually happens. In his view, Opetaia holds too many advantages through his physical size, timing, and overall command inside the ring. While the event itself would attract enormous attention and revenue, Jordan believes Jai would enter as the clear favorite.
Benavidez beats Zurdo Ramirez. The money fight would be Benavidez versus Jai Opetaia for the cruiserweights inside Zuffa. My God, that would sell. Because Benavidez is a star.
Oh, yeah.
And a star across multiple divisions.
Yeah.
Do I think he beats Jai Opetaia? Not in a month or something.
Benavidez, however, has repeatedly stated that a fight against Opetaia is one of the biggest opportunities available to him at cruiserweight and a challenge he genuinely wants to take. He insists he has never been afraid of facing anyone and believes these are the kinds of fights that build a true legacy. At the same time, he questions why Opetaia decided to align himself with Zuffa rather than making the fight happen sooner. From his perspective, they could have already shared the ring if circumstances had played out differently. Even while praising Jai's talent and abilities, Benavidez continues to say that the matchup is one he wants and that both camps will eventually need to work together if fans are ever going to see it.
Jai Opetaia, how important is it for you to get a chance to fight him without all the red tape in the way?
I mean, I think that's the biggest fight in the world, especially at this weight division. You know, and that's definitely a fight I want. Like I said, I'm not scared of nobody. This is Monstro's world. And if he wants to get that fight, we get that fight. I don't know why he went to Zuffa. We could have made this fight right after this one. You know, but now I don't know if he got stripped by the IBF or what it is. You know, I'm not going to go over there and fight for a Zuffa title. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think that would be a great fight to make in the future. And I mean, I respect Jai Opetaia a lot. He's a great fighter.
He also suggested that the move to Zuffa could make major fights more difficult to organize, arguing that promotional politics often take control away from the athletes themselves. Benavidez explained that while he understands the business side of boxing, it often becomes the biggest obstacle preventing elite matchups from becoming reality. Different promotional groups don't always cooperate, and that can slow negotiations down for months. Even so, he says he remains completely open to the fight if both sides can reach an agreement. In his opinion, the biggest priority should always be delivering the matchups that fans want to see, and only real cooperation will make a fight with Opetaia possible.
I think he has to come back over here to make these fights happen because, you know, we can't make no fights in Zuffa.
So that's what I wanted to secondarily ask was that, do you feel like fighters are losing their power by going over to Zuffa?
I think that, I think they definitely are losing the power. I mean, it's just a lot of politics in that. You know, I think Dana White has showed that he doesn't want to do fights with PBC, Dazn. And I don't want to even feel like, I don't want to sound like I'm disrespecting him, but that's just what it looks like from the outside. If we could come to an agreement and make a big fight, let's do it.
At the same time, Benavidez has made his current priorities crystal clear. Right now, his focus is locked entirely on Dimitri Bivol. He has even mentioned the possibility of meeting somewhere around a 190-pound catchweight, believing that would create the most exciting and balanced contest. In his eyes, it is the fight that makes the most sense for the direction of his career and carries the greatest importance. He says he is fully prepared and has openly challenged Bivol to step into the ring. For Benavidez, this is the matchup that can truly define the division and show exactly where he belongs among boxing's top names.
I've been calling for all these fights because I've told you guys I've been 100% ready for this. So, what I was thinking, you know, right? How could we make a fight even bigger? I was thinking of maybe we do a catchweight at 190, we get the cruiserweight belts involved, the light heavyweight belts involved, and winner take all. Dimitri said he wanted to fight for the cruiserweight championships before his career was over. So maybe this is we can make a even bigger fight like that.
Can you still get to 75 though, if that's what he wants, to just defend his light heavyweight titles?
Yeah, I mean, I can still get to 175. You know, the thing about is that if I do end up fighting him, it's probably not going to be until like the end of the year. Or, you know, I mean, it won't be in September.
Benavidez added another interesting layer to the conversation by revealing that previous sparring sessions with Bivol convinced him he has the ability to knock him out. When asked about those experiences, he remained respectful and avoided giving away too many details, explaining that Bivol has always treated him with respect. Even so, he admitted those rounds increased his confidence rather than creating any doubts. He chose not to reveal exactly what happened behind closed doors, but the implication was obvious. Based on what he experienced in the gym, he believes there are opportunities he can capitalize on in a real fight, where the pressure and stakes would be on an entirely different level.
You sparred Bivol before.
I sparred Bivol, yeah.
Multiple times?
I sparred him multiple times.
Come on, man, give me something. How was that like? All right, when you sparred Bivol and you left the ring, were you like, man, I can beat this dude?
No, I definitely know I could beat him. You know, I don't want to talk about that sparring session because Bivol has been a great guy to me.
He reinforced that belief by saying outright that he knows he can stop Bivol, although he also admits it would be one of the most difficult fights of his career. Benavidez explained that his confidence doesn't come from empty talk or stories from sparring. It comes from a genuine belief in his own power, timing, and how his style matches up against Bivol's. While giving Bivol full credit as one of the sport's elite talents, he feels the contrast in their styles would create an unforgettable battle. He even suggested it has all the ingredients to become a legendary event, with a history between them making the eventual showdown even bigger.
But we had I'm letting you know I can knock him out.
Oh, you know,
I can knock him out. It's not gonna be easy, but I know I can.
Are you saying that off the sparring, or are you saying that just like?
Oh, off the sparring. Off the sparring, yeah. What happened in the sparrings? You know, what I mean, I could definitely knock him out. It won't be easy because he's a great fighter, but
yeah.
That's also going to be another legendary fight when it gets made happen.
From old sparring tales to championship ambitions and bold knockout predictions, the tension surrounding these fighters continues to grow with every new interview. Benavidez has made his intentions impossible to ignore, and Bivol remains firmly in his sights. The entire division feels like it's only one blockbuster fight away from entering a completely new era. But now the question shifts to the fans. On one side stands relentless confidence and non-stop pressure. On the other stands elite skill, precision, and proven experience. When the moment finally arrives and the bell rings, who do you believe will have the upper hand?